Okay, guys. I just want us to have a look at gold today, being on Friday. What has been happening throughout the week? Now, this is gold. We're going to start it on a weekly time frame because if we look keenly on the monthly, we can only see just bullish candles. So that tells us that we are supposed to be looking for opportunities of buy because gold is what? Bullish, right? So if we come to the weekly time frame, this is the only thing we can see on gold, right? So on weekly time frame, I can see that we have this breakout structure right here. We have that breakout structure. Then around this level here, when we broke above that this area, this breakout structure, we call that breakout structure, right? So this area initially acted as what? It acted as a resistance zone, right? Around this area here, this swing high around this area, it acted as a resistance zone. So we broke above that resistance, turning this resistance to be what? Support. And then we had what? That retest. So that we can have what? The continuation of that buy, right? So around this level here, when we cause that breakout structure, we went up again, causing another breakout structure from that area, right? So the order block which led to this breakout structure here, it was on this bearish candle. So this is a breakout structure, right? Then the order block which led to this breakout structure here, it came from this candle around this area, right? You can see it was being mitigated. But let's go with the candles which are currently what is going on with gold. Now, this is another block which has been mitigated, which caused what this breakout structure. And then, if you look keenly around this area, for those people who know on how to identify CRT, we took out this low, the weekly low there, and then we mitigated this order block, and then we closed inside the range of this candle. So we are supposed to be targeting what? This high around that area. But before we reach there, what happened last week before this week, right? So we can see the other week managed to do what? To sweep this weekly candle high, but it closed bullish, but it closed inside what? The range of the what? Of this candle. But generally, we having what? This CRT here for these buys to target what? That high, right? So around this area, you are supposed to, on a long term, you're supposed to be focusing on buying opportunities, right? But if you get an opportunity for having a small sell, you can do what? You can hold, you can scalp that sell. Now, on the lower time frame, we might even experience a sell from that area because we swept that high. Then long term, we are bullish because we swept that low. And then this week we've managed to do what? Sweep the last week low. So we might even be bullish, targeting what? The high of this previous weekly low, right? So if we go to daily time frame, again we're going to look at what do we have around this area. Now, this breakout structure, the order block, now we need at least to refine that order block on the weekly time frame. So this is the order block. I mean, actually it can be a demand, it can be anything. If you want the way you're going to do what to call it, it can be an order block, something like that. So if you go to the lower time frame, you can refine it to either to for it to come that demand order block, or you can even refine it to come to that area, right? So we have these two zones around this area. So we have the first zone, then we have this zone here. They all did what? Gave us what? Some reaction, right? Now we have this order block where market mitigated, right? Then we have that buy by causing a CRT here for buying opportunities. Okay. Now on daily, what do we have? Actually, we don't have much. But the only thing I can see is also we swept what? We swept some previous daily low around this area, which gave us an opportunity to do what? To take those buys, right? And then if keenly we look around this area here, there is this low here. Remember, this is a previous weekly low, the last week low. So we swept that low, and then we currently having what? These reversals going up. So if we go to the 4 hours, so on the 4 hours, things are going to do what? At least to turn around. So when we swept this low, when we swept this low, when we swept this low, we had this sweep around that area, and then we had this area here, this high here. Yeah, around this area we got what? The change of character. Then the other block which led to that is this, the last bearish before that, buy there. So we had to take that buy. And again, around this area here, when we mitigated this demand, this was the last break of structure. And then we have what? The change of character at around that area. Right. So the demand which led to that uh, change of character, we have this bearish candle along that area. So we mitigated this area. Then when we mitigated, we have this uh, area. This is a sweep. Actually, this is not a break of structure. This is a sweep. This is a sweep. So this being a sweep, then we have all that change of character, right? We have that change of character. We have this change of character again, and then we mitigated this demand, which I've told you on how we found it. Then we had this, for those people who know on how again to identify CRT, we have this bearish candle here. This is a 4 hour bearish candle, whereby if you look keenly on this candle, this bearish candle here, all these candles, they have been ranging inside what? This candle. So it gave us what? The range high and then the range low. So you can even take some buys after we swept what? The low. You can see we swept only the low. So we never managed to do what? To have a body break above or below this low. So we've been having that buy targeting what? This high. And also remember, we have a CRT for buying to target what? This all-time high. So this what has been happening since Monday when we opened. So Monday started at around this level. We had a drop to take out what? Previous weekly low. And then you can see the trend we have been having, a buy to target what? The previous weekly high. Remember, there is this previous weekly high. We might even have to target around that area, right? Yeah. Now what you need to do, you need to focus with this high first. We have this draw on liquidity and then the previous weekly high draw on liquidity, right? So we need to narrow down on at least onto 15 minutes at least to see the kind of a structure the market has been presenting to us. Now, if you look keenly around this area, we swept what? This area. This is a sweep of liquidity. Then if you are looking for the change of character, we're having this as the change of character, right? But if you look keenly around this area, we have an internal change of character around that area, right? Whereby it originated from that order block, and then we managed to have what? That as the breakout structure, right? Then we went up. This was the inducement. So the inducement was being taken out. So if you could have even managed to use the fib tool, you can see market never came to that 50%, but it reacted from there is this key level around here. If you turn on the line chart, you're going to see it reacted from this base on this area, around that area. So that area gave you that opportunity for buy. Okay, and then we had this area again, this base around this area. So you can see it on clearly on this on using what? The line chart. So this is the base market mitigating that area, and then you need at least to look for what? The change of character, the last break of structure, and the lower time frame what? Order block, so that you can take what? a buy opportunity from that zone. So let's go to a lower time frame to see if we can spot some entries. I mean some confirmation entries, so that you can take what that buy. Right now, let's go to 5 minutes. Let's use the 5 minutes. So when we mitigated this zone, we had what? We had this area as what? This is a sweep of liquidity. That was a sweep of liquidity, and then this is the change of character. And then now you look for another block so that you can take what? A buy from that area. And then the other block which you are supposed to take was this bearish candle there, the bearish candle, right? So you're supposed to take that bearish candle as what? Your demand zone to take a buy. Remember, this is another block, right? If you look keenly around this area, if you look keenly on this area, we swept this area, we swept that high, that's a sweep of liquidity, and then we had this change of character. We have that change of character around that area, and then we have this area here where market reacted. Then it gave us what? It gave us this break of structure to the downside, right? And then you look for the supply which led to that candle, so you can even take this breaker block around that area. You can see that breaker block being mitigated, right? Yeah. Then again, what do we have? We have this sweep. That's a sweep. It's not a clear break of structure, but around this area, this is the area where we have what? A break of structure, and then you have a sweep here, a change of character. Then after having that change of character, we mitigated that demand, so you could have even managed to do what? To take a buy from this area. Stop loss below around the 50% on this order block, and then you target what? This swing high over here, because we are bullish. So you can target that swing high because what? To get a break of structure. And then in the real sense, we had what? That break of structure. Okay. So this is remember, this is what we're looking for on Monday, where you could have managed to get buying opportunity. This is on Tuesday where we had that sweep. Then Tuesday, so you could have even started this week on Wednesday to get these buys from this lower side, stop loss below that area. Then your target should be that weekly high or that 4 hour CRT high, that area, right? That's the area where you're supposed to be targeting. And then from this area here, you can manage to take that buy. You target the same area, right? So you could have even managed to target that the same area. And then this, you could have even decided to target this area, but you're supposed to be targeting this 4H on that area. So we have this break of structure. So we are supposed to be looking for an inducement. So we have this inducement around that area. We have that inducement. Then the other block which led to that inducement, it was from around this area. Actually, this is the area where I took some buys, but I got stopped out on break even. So this is a 5 minutes demand zone. You can see I had a buy from this area. My stop loss was just below this low, was just below around this area. Then I was targeting this high, but remember, you are supposed to be targeting what? This high for that 4H CRT, right? So I managed to catch around this almost 250 pips. So after that, I said just set my positions to break even, right? Then I got stopped out with this sell after after 250 pips, I got stopped out on break even. Then you can see the market delivered back to the, the full TP. Now, if you have a look at around this area, Let me remove this position. Let me remove this just a little bit back. When we mitigated this area, when we mitigated this area, this order block, we swept what? That low, right? That's a sweep. And then the high, we broke above with what? With the body. So that's what? A change of character, right? The order block which led to that area is what? This bearish candle on this area. That's the demand which led to uh, that change of character. So we could have been adding more positions at around this area. We just target what? You can even decide to target this swing high, but remember you are supposed to be targeting what? That 4H CRT high around around this area. So if you are to target this high, if you are to target this high around this area, you are looking for another breakout structure. And you can see we have that breakout structure. Now let's have a look at this area. Again, when we mitigated this zone, remember there is a position we took around this area for buy. This is just a weekly what outlook, what you could have been doing, right? And then when we mitigated this demand, what else did we get? So market gave us what? This opportunity. We had this breakout structure. We had this breakout structure here. Let me mark it. We have that breakout structure. And again, we have this area as the change of character. But if you look keenly into details, what it's really happening around this area, you can have this as what? The breakout structure, and then you can have this as the change of character around this area as the change of character. And then the other block which led to that area, it is what? That change of character is this bearish candle around there, right? So this is the other block which led to that change, that internal change of character. So these are 5 minutes what? Demand zone, right? Then if we had that internal, this change of character, and then we mitigated here, we had that buy, then this is a breakout structure. Remember, we have this change of character, and then we have this breakout structure because of this internal change of character. So we are looking for a demand which led to this breakout structure over here. So the demand, you can even take this candle, the last candle there at the extreme, right? Then this is where the market opened today, being on a Friday. We opened at around that area, whereby we've already managed to cause what? This breakout structure, and then we had that change of character, right? And then market created this first pullback here. So this is an inducement. This was acting as an inducement, right? So that area acted as an inducement, whereby we were waiting for market to mitigate this zone, right? And then you can see you can even manage to take what? A buy from that area. You could have managed to take a buy from that area, stop loss just below that low. Then you can either target what? This swing high, or you target what? The 4H high. Okay, but let's look at internally. What else do we have? We have also this as a breakout structure, whereby we managed to sweep. We just swept this low. We just swept what? That low, right? We've just swept that low, so that's a sweep. And then we broke above this area, creating what? A breakout structure. So we have that breakout structure. Then, if you are looking for an order block which created this order block, I mean this breakout structure. So if you are looking for an order block, then really, in the real sense, around this area, we can take this area to be an order block, right? Which led to this breakout structure. And then this is the area again today on Friday. I just had some buying limits around this area, but my positions were not being activated due to spreads, right? Yeah. So you could have even managed to take what? A buy from that area. stop loss below around this a few pips there, and then you can even target this high, or you target that for HCRT, that's here for HCRT high, right? And if you look in me around this area, after having that buy, we manage also to do what? To have this buy break or structure around that area. So on this break or structure, we have this low here as inducement. We have that low as inducement. Then the order block, you can take this area to be what? Your entry zone. So you can even take a buy when market approaches that area. You can take a buy from that area. Then you target that those highs around that area, so you can get what? A 1:5 risk reward ratio. So this is how you could have even been focusing on buying opportunities throughout what? The week only. So you could have been having how many positions? They say, so you started on Wednesday. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Around 8 positions. But I'm pretty sure you can even manage to get what? Even 3 or 4 setups. It's good for you to do what? To take that buy. Now, this is what I'm watching on gold, but currently I'm out of the charts. I'm not trading anything till on Monday. But in case I get some opportunities, I might even decide to take that buy, but not now. Yeah, cheers. That's what I wanted to share with you on gold. Right. So currently, I'm still looking on buying opportunities on gold even on next week.